Hi, Deacon Ed McCormick here at St. John the Baptist Catholic Community, and this is another installment in my Advent series. And I want to raise a question for you to think about. And the question has to do with the call to watch, the call to prepare. During this Advent season, Jesus in the first gospel of the season told us to be watchful. We hear the prophet Isaiah promising that God will act, and therefore we should prepare the way of the Lord. John the Baptist is identified as the one who prepares the way of the Lord. And so here's my question. What are we preparing for during the Advent season? And I raise this question because I think you hear in popular preaching, and I think in the minds of a lot of Christians, we're preparing for the birth of Jesus. But if you stop for a minute and think about that, it really doesn't make sense, because Jesus was born 2,000 years ago. My birthday happens to be on December 17th, so it's coming up. And my family is not preparing for my birth. I was born a long time ago. And so we're not preparing for Jesus' birth because that happened a long time ago. Another suggestion that you hear sometimes in preaching and in the popular mind is that we're preparing for Jesus' parousia, his second coming, his final arrival. I have a problem with that too. There is some truth to that. We do look forward to the fullness of Jesus' arrival and presence. But we are regularly told in the gospel that we don't know when it will happen. It will come like a thief in the night. And so I don't know what it really means practically to prepare for that when we have to live our lives. So here's what I think we're preparing for this Advent, and this is what I'm encouraging you to prepare for. And I think it's why the church has us focus on this season. We are not remembering, we're not preparing for Jesus' birth that's happened. We're remembering Jesus' birth. And we're preparing for him to continue to come, because he has already come and he has continued to come. There is a sense in popular piety, I think, that Jesus, after he was raised from the dead, he ascended to heaven and kind of beamed out. That's not what the ascension means. The ascension is this ancient way of saying that he is enthroned, he is the King of the world. So on Christmas Day, we remember that Jesus has come and continues to come. So what are you preparing for this Advent season? You're preparing for Christ to continue to come into your life through the Eucharist, through God's Word, through the Christian community, through all kinds of other people. And you're also preparing for the Lord to come through you to other people. And so in Isaiah chapter 40, where we hear the voice from heaven saying, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight the valleys and deep ravines, make a straight highway for our God. Well, for the Israelites to come from Babylon back to Jerusalem, it would have been great news if those rocky ways, those deep ravines would have been flattened out and there would have been a highway. Now, we don't need that kind of highway. But what we need to flatten out, what we need to prepare for, is to allow the Lord to come easily into our lives through all those means and to come through us to others. So are there perhaps attitudes or behaviors or dispositions or assumptions or thoughts that you're having that get in the way of the Lord coming to you through the Christian community, through the Eucharist or the Word? Are there experiences or wounds or pains? Are there worries? Are there life experiences that block the Lord from coming through you to other people? This is the kind of preparation that we need to engage in. And I think if we prepare ourselves to be more open and receptive to the many ways the Lord wants to come through us and through others through us, then we will be ready when he comes finally. So I want to make one concrete suggestion for how to prepare to be more receptive to the Lord coming to you this year and coming through you. I want to encourage you, in the midst of our very accelerated, our fast-paced, noisy world, to see if you can carve out each day just a minute to sit down in quiet. Just sit down quietly, maybe notice your breathing, and realize that you are already in the Lord's presence. And I want you to imagine the risen Lord standing right in front of you, looking at you with delight, that you have paused and woken up to the fact that he is always already there, ready to share his life with you. See you in the next video.